Right, welcome to episode 28 of the PT Performance Podcast, The Evolution. And I have a good friend of mine on the show today. We'll get into his bio in just a minute. I don't want to jump in front, but one of the OGs of the warehouse training, mixed martial arts here on the Gold Coast. And I'm going to hand it straight over to my man, Cole Smith from Heartbreak Conditioning. Cole, thanks for being on, brother.
Man? Oh, man. Yeah, cool, bro. Thanks for having me on, cuz.
I think I remember meeting you shortly before you opened the first Burley one.
Yeah.
And then coming in to get some of the old strongman sales. What do we call it? There was strength and there was power and there was athlete.
Yeah. So I had obviously had a lot of different sort of facets. I mean, like with my background before getting into training and stuff like that was with the military. So I was with the military before that, with New Zealand military, and then I've obviously always been sort of involved with sports and athleticism and all that sort of type of stuff. Like that's always been something that sort of was like a passion for mine. Wasn't a lot of things I concentrated on, but when it came to performance training and getting better and sport and anything to do with that, that was probably something that more stuck in my head a lot more.
Got bitten by the bug.
Yeah, pretty much, bro. Pretty much.
And I'm just going to jump in real quick, dude, for anyone that listens to this rather than watches the YouTube. The banging you hear in the background, Cole's literally just finished up at training. It's 7:45 at night on a Friday, and there's still people banging in the background.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
Nah, not at all, bro. This is what my memories of Heartbreak is
true.
The grind kicks on after hours, man. I mean, I remember we'd finish up sessions at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and we weren't the last ones walking out the door. There was always someone prepping for a fight or got a comp coming up or something. And for those that aren't too familiar, Cole had this one of the OGs, like I keep saying, of the warehouse gym. You know, now they're everywhere. Everyone's got a CrossFit gym or a warehouse gym or a mixed martial arts gym. Yeah. But you, in my opinion, man, you're one of the pioneers because we had similar interest and at the time. Sure. That's why as soon as I saw your stuff, I thought, you know what, the first thing I saw was and we're going to jump in again here, but when you were doing their outdoor boot camps so because you know people do outdoor boot camps and especially on the Gold Coast at the time, was it 2011 12?
Yeah So I mean with that concept, it was more like so I'd been in the gyms for quite a while, and the consensus was always sort of seemed more around like bodybuilding type training at the time. And for me, I was boxing, fighting. I was also playing rugby league and certain things like that. One thing that I did like about the military and those sorts of things was their ideas around functional training towards being a better all-round soldier. To being a better better at doing what your job is, you know, bigger, stronger, faster, more like the complete package sort of type of thing. And that was something that I sort of felt that was more what I needed when it comes to the performance type training. Seen a lot of stuff through America. I traveled to the States quite a bit to look at whatever the new training was from the NFL. Football players obviously always had a lot of forward thinking with their training, and then I come across MMA fighters, and it sort of just evolved from that, and I sort of just kept on sort of taking certain parts that I thought fit in.
Yeah. But I remember it was you had kegs. You had like chin-up bars you'd pull out of the ute. The dude had a ute, and it had this epic graphic on the front of the dude just screaming out. You know, you look at that logo back in the day, and you go, why are these guys called Heartbreak Conditioning? Then you see that picture, and you're like, bro, I think I'm scared to find out. Like, why are they called Heartbreak? And that's the image. You know?
Well, at the start, I was doing pretty well with the whole PT thing and just doing the whole weight loss stuff and all that sort of type of stuff, which is cool. But I sort of wanted to sort of go to another level and do stuff that I was more passionate about. Yeah,
you found your niche is what they call it these days.
Towards that sort of type of training. So when I did the whole Heartbreak thing, so the way I sort of constructed it was to sort of eliminate those people that probably wouldn't be up to it, you know.
I get it, man.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's the result you got. I mean, there was no doubting, bro. Anytime if you were going past your session in the park, or if anyone came into the gym, and this is the cool thing about it, man, you're always super welcoming to anyone to come give it a try. You know what I mean? There was people there that wouldn't do it. I mean, I did one of the boot camp ones, and I was one of them that struggled hard, man. And at the time, I was still playing football and thought, My conditioning wasn't too bad.
But well, I suppose my biggest thing was always more like it wasn't really about like whether you were like super athletic or super strong or all this sort of type of stuff. It was more just about the character and the personality type. The people that are just willing to sort of go hard and not whinge, do their training and get it done. You know what I mean? And I sort of just wanted to be surrounded by those people.
Yeah, brother. No, if that's what you're going after, you nailed it because. Like I said, that's the vibe, man. As you know, I trained there of an evening with you for a couple of years. My daughter started her, it really kicked off down there as well. She loved the environment. She'd go train with Jags and Raphael and them up in
the blast from the past,
Yeah, man, that goes way back. But, we get a lot of people listening to this that are PTs early on in their career, predominantly commercial gym based, because obviously that's the space that I'm usually in. And some of the feedback or questions we've had is like, how does that stuff apply to this gym, or how does that apply to boot camps, or how does that apply to like a warehouse CrossFit style of gym, in terms of building a business and succeeding and all this sort of stuff. And what I wanted to say to these guys, like obviously you kicked on at a fitness first, right? So a legit commercial gym that had and they still run it, what I call the old school PT sort of model. Dude, take us through, like, let's give them a quick, I want to get into more of the cool shit with Heartbreak, but give us a little brief. How did you kick off in the commercial gym space? What was some of the things you did to get to that level of success where you were then able to make that move towards your passion because you could, not because you felt like it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Bro, to be honest, it was pretty hard. So like, the main thing was, like I did go through that system, and I think it is important actually, to be honest, going through either the commercial system or even just like building yourself up, because like there's a lot of things that you learn from those places, like obviously with the different types of people, training fads and training sort of things that are happening at the time, so you get like subjected to it quite a bit. Also too, like it creates that, for me, it was good because I'm a competitive guy. So once I got put around like a whole bunch of trainers, like, you know what I mean? Like no matter what I try to do, like,
if one's doing 20 sessions,
be the best one, you know what I mean?
25 sessions. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like, so I think it's good from that point of view. I suppose there is a bit of a stereotype about personal training, as in it's like easy money, easy this, easy that. I mean, it can be a successful one for sure, but you definitely have to be passionate about it, and there's a lot of competition, and you know what I mean, you got to really work at it.
Bro, it's funny you say about the easy part. I always say that same thing. This will be either the easiest, funnest, most chilled out way to earn a couple of bucks, or it's going to be the most demanding, challenging, heart-wrenching way to make a lot of money and build a successful business.
Yeah, true that.
And you and I have both seen the ones who thought it was going to be easy and ease their way out as quick as they eased their way in.
Pretty much, bro. Pretty much, yeah.
The ones that are still there, man, whether it's the ones you worked with, I know some of them are still commercial gym PTs and doing quite well. And I know others doing similar. And share with us a bit of what you feel some of those key traits are to succeed in that environment.
Oh, I think like learning, like being a little bit more humble is obviously pretty good too. Like a lot of people sort of like, I don't know, it's like an ego thing. So they try to act like they're already killing it or doing that sort of stuff too. So I think being real, and then like the coolest thing about going to like commercial gyms, what I found is that like you get to see people that are doing, like the real people that are doing pretty well with it, and you get to either model yourself of what they're doing, or like, or get used to maybe take something from this person, take something from that person, and like learning stuff. So I think you sort of like elevate a bit quicker when you're there.
Good point.
And then you get subjected to that, especially with business wise too. So that's probably what I learned probably the most at those commercial places.
Oh, that's epic, dude. And as you know, that the saying iron sharps iron. If it doesn't matter if you're an architect or if you're a personal trainer or whatever, if you know there's someone in your environment, in your space that's really good at it, and they're living the kind of life and making the kind of money that you strive to do, then there's no harm, there's no shame. As you said, it's humble to go and have a conversation and go, hey, listen, man, you're killing it. You're doing what I want to do one day. Can I get some tips off you? Can I work for it? And I guess a lot of PTs think they're in this solo event, in a commercial gym and in particular. But if you look at it like a team where, you know what I mean? Like everyone's there for the same reason. They've got their own goals and their own ambition, but the purpose is the same, right? And And I know that's part of the reason why I know I get on with you and why we sort of do these things is we've kind of lost our ways a bit. And I think they've overcrowded commercial gym with 30 PTs. I think this has played a role in that holding all their cards close to their chest rather than bringing up the next dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because we all made the same mistakes, right? We all had the same hurdles, and we all had the same
100%.
brain-numbing moments where we're like, man, what am I even doing? Every person who's succeeded in this industry has gone through that exact same path.
Yeah, definitely.
But few others out there want to actually bring the new PTs up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big deal is that one, it's the new PTs, they've got too much ego to go and ask for it and humble themselves and learn from the master. And some of the ones killing it or doing quite well probably aren't the best at teaching that, but they just choose not to, you know?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's like anything, man. Like, you know, if you want to try and learn your craft or become good at it, like you gotta search that knowledge, you gotta search who's doing it, like you know what I mean, and you've got to like implement it, but in your own way. Yeah,
like, and the irony is most PTs know this anyway because they watch YouTube videos or they pay a coach themselves to learn some shit, and it's like, man, some of your answers are right in front of your face. You just gotta 100%. Open up, right? Yeah. Listen, so from commercial gym PT doing the hardcore boot camp. What came? Tell us about the move into that first facility over there in Burleigh.
Yeah. Oh, well, I suppose it was more like I sort of built myself up to a position where, like, you know, it wasn't as exciting for me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like, it was cool to get, obviously, to be able to be financially stable and do all these sort of things and, you know, training clients and training all these people and doing it as a main job, which was cool.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really like
the purpose wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't really really big for me. So I was sort of losing my drive with it. So like and I was competing at the time, so I wanted to try and link all that up with the stuff that I love. And then I knew that if I link it up with the stuff that I'm super passionate about, well, I'll never get sick of it. So
that's right. Yeah, fuck, that's a money point there, bro, because like everyone says, right? Like if you are passionate about it, if you do feel it, you love it, and it's your obligation to share it with other people, man, it doesn't matter. There is no hard days. Oh, no, but that's bullshit. There's definitely hard days, but you look at them differently.
Definitely. Yeah. So like, I mean, like I love obviously I love helping people and all the sort of, like, obviously it's fulfilling. The job is definitely fulfilling. Yeah. But but it was definitely more just towards things that really excited me. So like I was always involved with fighting and obviously performance training and like the peak end of like when it comes to performance or even just like having my own place was a big thing for me too. So it was something I always thought I'd never really get.
Yeah.
So once I sort of got to a position where I was doing well at that first goal, well, I was like, geez, why not go for the next one? Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said from the start, that's that competitive nature, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's definitely levels, and I think you know, there's heaps of people out there on the planet to take motivation or inspiration from. Yeah. And for me, the ones that there's a bunch that I like at all different levels, right?
Yeah.
But one of the sort of group of people I like are the ones that most of the world would sit there and go, that person's made it. You know what I mean? They've peaked, and there's nothing more they could do in life, but really that person's out there looking for the next level and the next level. And if there's no level to ascend, they bring as many people to their level, which then creates new levels, you know, like
hard, bro. Hard.
I think that there's everyone talks about no limits and all this infinite in different contexts, but the reality is it is limitless, man. We set the limits, right?
Yeah, hard.
Our effort, our ambition, our attitude, all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's life. Well, that's what makes life interesting. That's what gives purpose. You know, those are important things. Yeah,
absolutely. So tell us about what's for those that, you know, quick timeline. What was it? 2011? You opened up in Burleigh?
2011. Yeah,
2011. So 2011 in Burleigh. A couple of years later to a slightly bigger spot in Burleigh still, and now you're over there in Nerang.
Yep.
Tell people what is Heartbreak now, like in terms of what goes on at Heartbreak.
Okay, so like so I suppose, to be honest, like Heartbreak sort of like is definitely its own sort of type of gym, I suppose. So like I suppose I've had a background in like strength conditioning and also like fight training and coaching. So it's a combination of the both. Yeah, so it's a combination of all the stuff that I love. So
tell us about Fight Draft, man. This is something you do that intrigues me, and it's been going for years now.
Yeah.
And it's an epic.
Yeah.
And I don't want to use the word challenge or or because it's definitely not a challenge. You know what I mean? This
Yeah,
is like
yeah,
legit. This is for real.
yeah,
So tell
yeah.
us about the fight draft.
All right. So, well, my background with fighting and stuff like that, so I've done MMA, boxing, that sort of stuff. Well, I found that like sometimes there were like fights or certain gyms we would go to, and like fighters were getting thrown in, and they were unprepared. You know, they were unprepared and not ready to go. And like there were times when I was put into fights where sort of like, you know, like I wasn't really ready to go, but I went all right, but still, but in
Kind
my
of
in
went
my heart, I
because
was
someone
always
else
like,
set
you
the
know,
schedule.
there should have been more levels to before you get to that.
Yep.
So yeah, I created the fight draft. So at the time where MMA was still pretty new, and all these other things were pretty new. So my concept was that if I could try and systemize a standard, then I know I wouldn't have that conscience to bear that I put out someone unprepared.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
was
Hell
why
yeah.
I made
That's
the fight
awesome.
draft.
So it's like,
Yeah.
all right, man, you could go to any, at the time, I think there was one or two others maybe doing it like fight.
Yeah.
I don't want to name any business name because maybe they're doing it okay. But the idea was you enroll in a group
Yeah.
and 12 weeks later, you're having your first fight.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter whether you're ready or not, they're going to make it happen because there's a show on and there's matchups that have been made and all this sort of stuff. So you've come along and gone, hey, man, after 12 weeks, someone may still not be ready. And how could you do it better, right? So you started the fight draft, and dudes or girls and guys, I know both would do it.
Yeah. So I did it.
Sign up.
Yeah, so it's like a 6-week course but it's a 6-week like intensive course. So like it's like either like an introduction or to a camp, or else it's like just a way for me to analyze and see if they are ready. So it was covering everything from nutrition for obviously competition. They had chicken journals where they had to either take notes every week, set goals for the week, and then also had to post to a private page all their eating and everything that they do. Then they also had set parameters that they have to try and pass from. We have different code sequences that they need to learn, certain amount of physicality sessions they have to do, which cover different facets from power, conditioning, and cardio. Then they have another set, which is what they call fine tunes, which works on, they have to do stuff on their own, which is like different things to do with like hand speed, chin strength, and stuff like that. So I set it up in that way, just so one, they know the standard, they know the standard, what they need to do, and two, they get to and they also learn how to weight cut too. So so they learn how to weight cut and all these things. So when it actually comes to a fight, they know what they need to do, and then also too, it also creates a bit more pride about who they're competing for.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, you know, if anyone steps into your facility and spends some time there, you'll notice everything you just said. There is no one else doing exactly what you do. It is its standalone facility and brand, which is awesome. You know, and I've always felt super comfortable and one of the boys, as soon as you walk in there, it doesn't matter. And I've witnessed it as well when other new faces rock in there. So you've built what a lot of people would call a culture, but I think at your place, man, it's probably even, I don't know if it's the right word, but it's a level above a culture. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're just trying to make sure, you know, you try and eliminate because you know how it is, like being in the gyms, like, you know, like that's one thing I didn't like about like some other gyms too, is that like, you know, like some of the culture and the egos could sort of get a bit annoying. So like it was good to try and eliminate that and have like, and you know how people can achieve a lot more when you have a good good environment around you, you know what I mean? So it's mentally good for you, and it's somewhere I wanted to stay all the time. So I sort of tried to make sure, I definitely made sure it was going to be like that all the time.
It's awesome, bro. I still remember some of the power nights we'd get down there and do a couple of laps of the car park, and we'd do a warm up. And then you've got some ridiculous gorilla circuit where it was like 3-rep max on squat, high pulls, and bench. And then you might do some tire flips and some wall balls or some shit. And by the end of it, man, broken, absolutely broken, but never felt better in a training modality that I had when I was doing that combined with the football. It was just,
for sure.
It was next level, man. I used to love it. It was
good, man.
Like a secret power when you train like that. You can't train like that always forever, you know, like you can throw that in amongst your other stuff, and the performance, as you said from the start, to be a better total specimen, you know. More recently I've heard it explained like this, and I love it. It's called unfuckwithable. You know what I mean? And when you and I didn't even hit it as hard as most of the guys at your gym do, but what I found during that whole time, man, was that level of unfuckwithable was much higher.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure.
And like you said, like we're over there lifting weight. There's 5 or 6 dudes in the jits cage, in the cage doing jiu-jitsu. Upstairs, there's Muay Thai classes going on or groups up there. And it was just always that vibe of like, hey, man, you don't come here and do bicep curls in the mirror and kind of stare at the same dude that you don't know but trains the same time of day as you every day.
Yeah.
and the team photos at the end. I remember the team photos at the end of every session.
Yeah, true.
And part of that was part of the deal too, right?
Yeah, hard. So everybody was like, yeah, I was here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. It's 8:00 at night. We're dripping sweat. Check it out. Where are you?
Yeah, we're here.
So with I mean, you've also had some you helped, if you've done your fights and plenty of your clients or your team, probably clients doesn't really match your crowd. It's more like your team or your community. They've all gone through fights. I know some big names have trained in there as well over the years in preps for their fights.
Yep.
Like, I mean, we got there? Big Mark Hunt used to practically live there for a
while. We spent a bit of time here with Mark. So Mark was here for a couple of years. So I was happy to be on that journey. And obviously, the Tougher brothers been through here too. So Junior Tougher and Justin Tougher, Tai Tuivasa. Tai Tuivasa's through here. Tyson Pedro came through during those times too. Else do we have? We've heaps of boys like
even some more local boys and stuff.
Titles, Dylan Andrews, James Tahuna. So like
Ryan Carketu, like kind of
Carketu, the bro, sweet.
No, it's a like I said, man, it was also an awesome team. Like I'm still mates with and catch up with some of those boys, from time to time too. And it's a good crowd, man. Like you feel you're part of the team down there, which is epic. And even some Hollywood A-listers have come.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we obviously had Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Dwayne the Rock Johnson came through too. So that was obviously
you did a petition epic, almost to get that happening, wasn't it?
Yeah, bro.
Like some shout outs and shit.
Yeah. What I did was like so obviously we got a lot of Polynesians at the gym. So I did like a video call out, which was like, I think I was asking anyone that was online that was following us to give us their hardest like workout challenge. Yeah. So I gave them like a week to give us a workout challenge, like make it as hard as possible. And then we're going to tally them all up, all these workout challenges over the week. And then if we were able to complete one, they had to post Bring the Rock to Heartbreak. Yeah. So like that was the hashtag if we could complete it. So I think I had we had like 84, I think it was like 84 challenges. So they were pretty crazy. Yeah. So I think one was like freaking flipping a tire for 20 Ks, and then like there was some other stupid one, 10K of handstand walk and heaps of stupid ones. But like we did it, so we just did it as like as a team for 24 hours, and then somehow it got to the big guy. Yeah. And then bro, he just I think someone rang up and asked when was the quietest time to come for a train because they had anxiety or something. Yeah. So I just said, come on a Saturday afternoon. It was an Australian guy, so I was a bit dumbfounded. Yeah. And then the truck just come up, this blacked out truck come up, then opened up, and then the big fella jumped out, and he just did the old, you cold? And I was like, yeah. You're the Rock. Truck. Yeah, man. Yeah. So then I think he went to go do the old shake the hand one, and I did the old hug instead. But it was cool, bro.
Yeah, sick. And that's awesome, man, because that wasn't just the dude come and checked you out. Like he's gone to other gyms because he's in the area and he needs a gym, but that was based on your effort, man. You went, you know what, man, I'm gonna make this shit happen. And you didn't do it like a petty like tag and share. It was like make us work. We fucking work for this, and that's I strongly believe when that all went down, man. I was a big believer that happened because what you did. You know what I mean? That was some severe universe shit.
Yeah, it was pretty hectic. I was just going, man, it'd be cool if I could get this dude in. So let's just try it. So everyone was keen, so went for it. Yeah, and then Jason Momoa, that was pretty cool too. So
that was cool. You got that clip on going around all the time, man. That was epic.
Oh yeah, bro. Well, I met him through like through mates of mates. So like Ezra. So Ezra was like, Ezra obviously what I said too. So he always helps us out with everything. Yeah, he did a few paintings for us in our gym and stuff too. Yeah,
that was a cool time too, man. Because when Mark was training the mixed martial arts with you guys, he'd be up at the gym I was at the time doing what we coined charms, which was just chest and arms.
Charms, I heard the term.
Yeah, so the shit that he couldn't do at your place because your place is about legit work, like becoming a better athlete. And this was just a place to go and get a pump.
Jumps,
So he'd come up with Ez and we'd sit there and jam out a session from time to time. And that's where Jason come up there as well, Momoa.
Oh, true that.
And it was cool to see those boys just like once they got comfortable and they knew that we're not paparazzi, we're not trying to do anything about it. They let their guard down. We're just cool dudes, man. And good fellas, eh?
Yeah, so I met him through that, and then like just got obviously got pretty close to me. He's a cool fellow, man. So he's a bit of a mate now. But and obviously we did the haka thing, the haka too, which went crazy. And obviously I went over to got invited to go over to the premiere in Hollywood and did the haka with them over there. So that was pretty cool, man.
That was epic. Yeah. It
was.
Hey, we should have you got that on YouTube, or where would someone be able to find these clips?
Well, obviously the one with us doing haka the first time, the main one is on Heartbreak TV. So that's on Heartbreak TV, the haka. So yeah.
I'm gonna put links on.
Yeah, so there's like that one, and then the other one is the premiere. So Aquaman premiere.
That's right.
Haka.
Guys, I'll put links and stuff in it, but just even if you Googled that, Mark Hunt, Jason Momoa haka, that's the one that was done in the Heartbreak gym. That was the OG gym, man. That was mad. It was right before his fight up in Brisbane, hey?
Oh, it was right before his fight in New Zealand. So it was like it was pretty. To be honest, it was pretty cool how that all happened, man. So it was just just sort of fell into place. So obviously I was planning to do that haka for Mark, just sort of like a send off from us to go back home, because he hadn't fought back in New Zealand ever since. So that was like his first sort of big one going back home and go back to Auckland. So I wanted to give something sort of unique from us. And then during that time when we were practicing it was when I got introduced to Jace, and then Jace wanted to jump in, and he was cool with all the protocol and stuff like that. And then it was a pretty amazing day, to be honest. Like freaking
it was chill.
That haka went crazy. Like I think last time we counted was nearly like 150 million. Like views all over the place. So it's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Because it was. You're right. It was NZ because was it Brisbane then NZ or NZ then Brisbane? Because he was here for a while for 2 fights.
Yeah. So the first camp was Brisbane against Frank Mir. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and that was another walk off.
Yeah. So that was Frank Mir. Then they went to States, 200. Then came back. Then we had Overeem, and then there was Beast here.
That's right.
Then Auckland was Beast here.
Yeah. Right now it was funny times, man, because I know at one stage, I think it might have been the last round of that, Ezra was doing a lot of work with Mark down there with you guys.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Ezra's a good friend of ours and played football with me. And at the time we were training for the Australian national titles for Queensland. And he would turn up to practice on Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, I think it was. Whatever, it was an afternoon. Yeah. And the dude was beat. Like he was physically beat. But then he would go out and just monster 160 kilo men like it was nothing,
He is strong, bro. He is strong, that fella. Holy.
Yeah.
He's real strong.
Legit work also.
Yeah, bro. Hard.
So we're at Nerang now, man. We're at a slightly bigger facility, a bit more equipment. I see in the background you gave us a quick walkthrough before. You've got 2 cages or a cage and a ring?
Oh, cage and a ring, yeah.
Yeah.
So cage and ring, obviously we've got the full, because most of the other gyms all sort of been sort of compacted in together. So this is about 2.5 times bigger. So So now I can actually fully separate the strength and conditioning from the fight side of it, and now I can obviously put it all in the one area. So it allows me to sort of concentrate on the fight side of it even more now.
Yeah. Oh, bro, that's epic. And what's the mission from here? Like, where's Heartbreak going from here?
The main thing I suppose is just I still got to try and get my business sort of running nice and smooth, especially after the pandemic and all that rubbish.
Yep.
But obviously once everything all sort of settles, I am looking at trying to sort of create different camps. There's different camps I want to sort of try and create. So maybe even something back home. I'm looking at trying to do.
Cool.
Like a performance type training, but in the bush. Yeah. So
Yeah, Rocky
Yeah,
style.
so yeah. So I'm sort of looking at trying to do certain things like that back home. Also brings me back home again, but
Yeah.
just some other different facets I wouldn't mind trying to add in, and definitely just looking at just trying to build Heartbreak a little bit more. We're trying to get more athletes and fighters on the big stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that are
Well,
generally
let's
from
talk
here.
about, obviously the pandemic's come and made a big hit on almost every business on the planet.
Yeah,
Fitness being no different. We had forced shutdowns, and even
yeah,
there was great arguments to say we should have been one of the ones left open,
yeah, right.
for all intents and purposes. But
Yeah.
with all that in mind, and I think you opened this new one after the initial first year, right? How long you been here now?
Oh, being here for a year, so probably after the official first year, yeah. So,
So tough time to open any business.
oh, bro,
And
yeah,
even though you were established, for those who don't know, Burley to Rabina, Narang, sorry,
yeah,
Burley to Narang, while not that far in terms of the drive or the commute to get there, on the Gold Coast, man, that can be a deal breaker for some people because
oh, yeah,
there's other options close by. But I think it's a good spot because you're right off the M1, right? It doesn't take
oh,
too
yeah.
long.
So straight off the highway. So a lot of the crew ended up following me up this way anyway. So
Yeah,
because it's actually the ring ended up being pretty good because it's actually like almost like right in the center of everywhere.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
So like yeah, so I'm
Well,
getting
you
a lot of
obviously,
traffic.
in terms of lead generation and getting your brand out there, one thing that's not being disputed right now is word of mouth with you guys is great. Some
Yeah,
great opportunities to be on a world stage, literally a number of times, with some big
yeah,
names and stuff. But
yeah.
look, the point I guess I'm trying to make is what are the challenges you still find in terms of getting people in your club? Most people walk in your gym, they're not going to walk out without some sort of commitment, right? They're going to love being
Yeah,
a
yeah,
part of it.
yeah.
What do you find is the biggest challenge, or how do you get people to get into your business?
Yeah, I suppose like that is hard one. I mean, like I suppose like to be honest, like you sort of just got to take it back to like sort of like that like you just got to try and get as many sort of like angles of like marketing, I suppose, like every angle can be marketing, like whether that's like YouTube,
Yeah.
whether that's like Instagram, whether that's even like flyers, you know what I mean? Like people may hate on flyers, but like, if you get one out of 100, which costs you $2, it's still something, like it's like that. I suppose like referrals are always good with people. I mean, like I get a lot of referrals. So I get a lot of referrals, and to be honest, like I probably get most of mine through like social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get most of mine through social media. So I've obviously got Heartbreak TV, and like where I do like those episodes. I got this web series that I run, which is called Heartbreak Life, and
Yep.
it sort of runs with sort of what happens with at the gym. Plus, obviously, Instagram I get a lot, and also too just do my website.
Yeah.
So like I just try and funnel pretty much everything through that.
Yep. So basically using all those different social media platforms to steer
Yeah,
people back to the website,
pretty
get the
much.
traffic up, opportunities
Yeah,
there to come connect with you and get out to sessions. And
yeah,
you've always had cool merch as well. So even people who aren't too sure
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah,
the merch is always good, man. The logos have always been badass.
yeah,
The font and everything, man. It's always been tough. So I think
yeah,
that's pretty appealing as well.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, dude. So I'm really keen to see what's up for Heartbreak. As you said, you're going to do some camps and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
Man, if anyone, for the people listening to this, our Gold Coast, definitely reach out to Cole, man. I want you guys to go and experience it. As we sort of pointed out earlier, this is the first one really on the coast that went this path. And as Cole mentioned earlier, and rightly so, it's not even a version of or in the same category. You know what I mean? If we were to try and group it into a category, you would say it's a warehouse strength and conditioning MMA gym, right? Which is a mouthful, but that doesn't even exist. There's no one. There's fight gyms on the
yeah,
coast that have put in some gym equipment,
yeah,
and there's some gyms on the coast that put on some fight equipment.
yeah, exactly,
But
bro.
no
Yeah,
one's both. You know what I mean? No
nah,
one's
yeah,
both, and
yeah.
you've nailed that and continue to nail that for years, brother. So,
Thanks,
man,
bro.
more power to you, man. I want to see that bad boy jacked. I want to see heartbreaks in every city.
Yeah, yeah. We'll give that a crack. We'll give it a crack. Yeah,
Well, listen, man. Hey, really appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming on and having a bit of a chat about Heartbreak and what you're about and where you are. And for anyone that wants to reach out, we'll put the links in the Cole. And like I said, the dude's been in the game a long time. We talked about this at the start. Don't be afraid to reach out to people that are doing what it is you aim to do at some stage. You could learn a lot from a fellow like Cole, that's for sure.
Cheers, bro.
Oh man, where can they for the ones that are too lazy to read, where can they find you on Instagram?
Instagram, you can find me on Heartbreak Conditioning. So just Heartbreak Conditioning. So Heartbreak Conditioning, find that. Facebook, Heartbreak Conditioning, and or you can find us on YouTube channel, which is Heartbreak TV.
Excellent. Like I said, I'll put the links in there anyways, guys. But episode 28, my man, thank you for being a part of it, brother. I really appreciate that.
All good, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
All right.
Don't be used as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up.